sure.
All right, so we are recording. Thank you guys being hilarious in the chat box right now, but also just for tuning in general to our, I think you're number 18, Chris. So yeah, we're deep into our knowledge drops now. And thanks for doing this, man. If you guys have not tuned into a knowledge drop before, just to kind of give you a rundown on how this works, basically we're going to give the first half to Chris to run through his deck, drop some knowledge about this really unique sort of like world that he lives in of voiceovers, and especially doing voiceovers as a digital nomad in this sort of creative freelance niche that he's found himself in, but making it work and getting paid for it just for having a beautiful voice. And then we'll hopefully save the second half of our time to go through some questions that you guys might have. So as he's chatting, feel free to, continue to just goof around in the chat box with each other. But if you have a question that you want him to get to at the end, use that little question and answer box that you should be able to find there at the bottom. And again, this is getting recorded, so this will be in the Knowledge Drop archive when we're wrapped today. So you can watch it again, share it with your friends. If you have any friend that ever in the next years, like, you know what, I've thought about doing voiceovers, be like, oh, I know what you should watch. I know a guy that's got some wisdom on this. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to you, Chris. Thanks again for doing this, man. It's awesome. I'm super interested in this subject myself. It's very cool.
Awesome. All right, let's get the show on the road. Start off the slideshow like this. Bam.
Look at that beautiful first page. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, so attention grabbing. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Knowledge Drop on voiceovers. This is my story. This is some insight into the voiceovers that I do and the clients that I have, and what you need to get started if you were ever to decide to do something like that. So I want to start off by saying, a lot of people ask me, what is voiceovers? Like, they're very fascinated. They always ask me, like, what kind of voiceovers? Like, what can you be like more detailed? And so a voiceover is anything that needs to be recorded for any sort of application. So that voice in the movie theater, the movie trailer voice, to something like a commercial you see on TV, to something like Siri. Those are all voiceovers that somebody took the time to record in the studio to create a vision, to bring a vision to life. And so that's what I do. Every day I'll get new scripts from different clients from all over the world who have different goals in mind. And my job as a voiceover is to interpret those scripts and bring the client's vision to life. And so each project is completely different. We'll talk about that a little bit more today. But you have to be very flexible. It's not just reading the script, it's bringing the project to life. You really have to bring their vision to life. So let's get started into this. Drop in some voiceover insights. What's about to drop today? Today, I'm going to talk about the hardware that you need to get started, proper voice ability, different variations in voice that you may need, and a little bit of insight into the business side. Why I'm dropping this today? Well, I'm happy to say that I'm able to travel the world, work only a few hours a day while earning a full-time income recording voiceovers, which is something I really love to do. Ever since, speech class in high school and college, I always loved using my voice and articulating different sort of speeches and just, I don't know, it's a very fun thing to do. So everybody, let's all get ready, put on your helmets, lean forward, because we're going to segue into our first topic, microphones. Very important piece of technology and absolutely crucial for doing any sort of application in voiceovers. So there's two main different types of microphones that I like to address. There's USB microphones and there's XLR microphones. XLR microphones are usually for applications like live performances, concerts, studios. They're very high. They can be very high quality. Usually the more higher quality microphones are going to be XLR. And then there's USB microphones. There's a whole range of those, but those plug right into your laptop. If you're going to be traveling, a USB one is a great way to go. It's currently what I use. I use very high quality USB microphone. There's a lot of USB microphones on the market. Some of the best ones I recommend are blue microphones. They plug right into your laptop. The XLR ones are also amazing. However, they need an additional interface to convert from XLR to USB because our laptops don't have an XLR port on them. So it's an additional step. If you're traveling, it's an additional thing to bring along, which is why I don't use an XLR, but I have used them before. They're amazing quality, and they use them in concerts and performances all the time. You're also going to need a modern laptop. Anything you can, most laptops you can buy on the market today can handle most of the audio software today. Audio software is not too intensive unless you start adding a bunch of plugins to, edit your voice. But for the most part, to get started, you're probably set with whatever laptop you have now. And some editing software. There's a lot of very powerful editing software on the market. To start out, I used a program called Audacity. It's free. It's available. Just Google it. You can download it. It's very simple. You just hit record, and you start recording. Very easy to use. Very simple. So yeah, basically just don't use your laptop mic, and you're good to go. And let's go ahead and segue into our next topic: your voice. Probably the key piece of all voiceovers is your voice. And as long as you can talk, you have a voice, and you can probably do voiceovers with the right amount of flexibility and training. So one thing I wanted to mention is, with voiceovers, there's just so much you can do, and it's a market that's very highly in demand, because there's always going to be new startups that need videos promoting their services. There's always going to be new applications on mobile phones, et cetera, new movies coming out. So there's always going to be that demand for voiceovers. And there's different categories and niches. For example, male voiceovers and female voiceovers are two totally different niches that are kind of in the same world. They don't exactly compete with each other, because they're their own kind of separate thing. Like, it's kind of like burgers and tacos. They don't exactly compete with each other, but they're in kind of the same world. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. I get a lot of people from, say, colleges that want my voice because I'm in the young, like, male voiceover niche, and I'm able to relate to younger people. Well, where, say, someone who is older might be able to relate to an older audience, or maybe there's a new children's TV show and they need a child voiceover. So, and a movie voiceover needs somebody who has that really dramatic, kind of low kind of voice. So let's segue again to the next slide. So when it comes to voiceover and your voice, your ultimate goal is to bring the client's goal to reality. Whatever they want from you, whatever their vision is, you have to bring that to life. So no two voiceovers are usually going to be the same, unless they're in the same kind of realm. But this is the first example, the movie trailer voice. So the client's goal will be to arouse excitement, curiosity, intrigue. So you as a voiceover guy have to know how to do that. So, maybe like deepening your voice, maybe talking a little slower, using pauses. What is Chris gonna say next? I don't know. Why is Travis laughing so much? The world will never know. Will he ever get better?
I'd watch this movie. That sounds good.
Yeah. So just basically just knowing how to bring that vision to life. Another example is if the client wants a corporate tutorial from you. So they give you a script and they say, hey, look, we need a new tutorial for, we're showing our employees how to use some new software for our company. So you're going to need to know, okay, I need to be clear and easy to follow, have a steady pace, not be too boring, but basically something simple, nothing too fancy either. So something like, open up the first page, open up a new tab. To get started, sign in with your username and password. Now click next. It's kind of something not too fancy, but it's not boring either. It's just exactly what they want. And then another example is a radio ad. So we've all heard these radio ads, commercials, and their purposes is to, grab attention, excite the listener, be very clear, because excitement is contagious. The more excited you are, the more they will be. They'll be like, oh, whoa, let me hear this. This weekend only, we have an amazing sale. Come on down. Tacos all half off. That's right, half off. Come on down to Travis's Tacos. That's the first name that came to mind. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of examples of actual work that I have done. And I also wanted to start off with the music video that I shot with some of my fellow remotes here, because I actually recorded that entire song with the mic that I currently travel with, to show you that it is possible to record good stuff while you're on the go. So let's just change my screen over.
Have you done many radio ads? I feel like you'd be perfect.
Yeah. I have done a couple of those.
Like I'd eat at Travis's Tacos for sure after hearing that level of excitement and enthusiasm.
Travis's Tacos. Yeah, so would I. So yeah, let's just play a little bit of these and see what you guys think. So this first one's a music video. Boom boom girl. Boom boom girl. You're my boom boom girl. So come and rock with me. Yeah, come and rock with me. Boom boom girl. My baby goes boom boom girl. So come and rock with me. Yeah, come and rock with me. So that's Boom Boom Girl. You can find that on YouTube by searching that.
Did you auto-tune that at all, or is that just your actual voice?
Yeah, definitely auto-tune.
Sounds like a bit, yeah, not like heavy, but a bit.
To give it that kind of stylish effect that I was going for. And then this is, I'll just show you guys a couple projects of different applications.
These factors with our never compromised outcome of quality vitrified tiles. It is said that only change is constant, and we believe it, and so are designs. We create 180 plus designs every year. And videos and posting them on social media, it's a great way to share experiences with friends and family that can't be there. It's also tedious, time-consuming, and disjointed. Unless you use Laleo. The Laleo app makes capturing and sharing a free smartphone app that will change how you hire service professionals forever. Here are 7 reasons why you won't believe this app is free. ProSaver's algorithm recommends professionals based on your specific situation.
They made that cartoon dude kind of look like you, or that was just lucky.
Yeah, I think
you were like, yeah, like semi-similar.
Just like professional camera ones. That's why we created Lensta, the new way of taking photos with high resolution, anytime and anywhere you want. Lensta is an inclusion wide-angle smartphone camera lens that can alter the experience of smartphone photography to a new level of inclusion, warmth, and lifelike appearance. With Lensta, everyone can be a professional photographer. Of Lean Six Sigma. EduShore has customized Lean Six Sigma exclusively for service sector organizations. Reduce costs, delays, defects, wastage, and improve operational efficiency, productivity, customer satisfaction. Each one represents an interpreter who joined Equity, and they're from different regions of the world. Wow, our dots should definitely be there too. How excited you felt when you bought your first car? You probably thought to yourself, my hard work has paid off. A dream come true. No more commuting. I'll have flexibility with my travel routes and times. But sadly, the reality is more like this. Car insurance, maintenance, gas, and the worst of them all, parking.
So that's a little bit of what I do. A couple
Parking
examples.
is the worst. Is that jingle used in other things, or like how can we all know that jingle? I feel like
it's probably used in other things, or it's a very familiar jingle.
That was cool, man. Thanks for showing us that. That was great.
Yeah, for sure. So you could see how my voice kind of adapted to different situations, especially for that last one. It's kind of like you have to be very relatable when you're saying like, and the worst part, parking. So you kind of have to bring that dread into your voice. And where you're saying an explainer tutorial, you're just kind of like, it's not too much emotion. It's just kind of explaining it. First off, sign in here, and then open this tab here. It's very kind of neutral. So let's go on. Let's all lean in once again. Everybody follow me on your segue into the business side. So basically, once you've practiced a little bit, have your equipment, and you're ready to go, how I got my start was I found a freelancing website online called Fiverr, and then later on also Voice Bunny. And you know, it was a little tough at first. It's a little tough because you don't have very much reviews, you don't have a reputation yet. So the first things first is you got to build a demo reel. You gotta make yourself a reel showing your talents, different voices that you're able to do, and then you're able to showcase this to new interested clients. So that's very important. Then you know, these are a couple of different freelance websites that I found: Fiverr.com, VoicePlanning.com, Voices.com, Freelancer.com. There's a lot of different freelancing websites. I will say this though, back when I started in 2010, a lot of these websites were still in their infancy, so the competition wasn't as steep. Going in now, there's a tons. It's very competitive. It's going to be a lot harder, but it's not impossible. But it's going to take time. So that's also key: is be patient. It takes time. I know it took me a couple of years before I was able to make a full-time income off of it, for sure.
Would you recommend, if you had to recommend one to get started, would it be Fiverr? That's the one you got started on, right? Or...
Yeah, that's the one I got started on. It's one of the easier ones to get started up on, but I feel like it's also one of the most congested ones now. That one doesn't do just voiceovers only. It has a whole bunch of different other categories. But yeah, I've had pretty decent experience with most of these. Fiverr is probably the easiest one to set up and go. But yeah, just experiment, see what you like. Might find some success on one of these. So I'll segue into our next one, homework. So this is very crucial stuff. So first assignment is to watch Boom Boom Girl on YouTube. That's very crucial. That's for inspiration, you know, getting in a good mood. Then buy a USB mic. You got to have a good quality microphone, and usually from my experience, anything that's at least about $100 and up, it's going to be more than enough quality, really. I've used some really expensive mics before, and you know, some that cost only, you know, $100-$120, and with the right editing software, most people will not be able to tell the difference. So it's really all the most important thing is your talent, is your voice talent. Are you bringing the client's goal to reality? You know, are you doing it well? Create a demo reel. Make sure you showcase your different voice flexibilities and talents. You know, show me your movie trailer voice, show me your corporate video voice, show me your explainer video voice. You know, bring it to life, be convincing, sound like a real ad. And then apply on your choice of freelance website. Find a freelance website out there that suits your needs. I listed a couple, and just go for it. And now we will hand it back to Travis. I think we're going to do some Q&A now.
We shall, man. That was awesome. Do you have, are you cool with people reaching out to you on Slack and stuff if they have more questions in the future about this? I feel like you're probably the sole remote person in our whole massive network now that makes a full-time living off of this stuff. So I got to think you're our numero uno expert in this. So if people have questions, is that cool?
Absolutely, yeah. Anytime, anywhere.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Why don't you pop off screen share too, so we can just go back to the two of us hanging out, having a little chat. We are getting a bunch of questions in. I had one question that just came to me actually, like at the end there, when you were saying, you know, practice your different like movie trailer voice, this guy voice. Do you think it's, because like it sounds like you have a pretty diverse portfolio of like the types of voiceovers that you've done and like, you know, gotten paid for. But do you think, say somebody's interested in getting into this, does it make sense to try to be super dynamic, or does it make sense to be like, I'm going to be like college guy or like, or what do you think?
You know, it's, in my opinion, it's better to be more versatile and flexible and have a variety of different voices that you can offer to the clients. But if you're really good at being college guy, then rock with it and promote it. You know, I'm the college guy, because there is a niche for that. There's a demand for a college guy, or, you know, so if you're really good at that, go for it. If you can be college guy and movie trailer guy, well, now you can cater to two different markets and essentially double your income that way. So the more flexible your voice is, the better, really.
All right, tons of questions. What did you learn? And actually, yeah, do you mind closing out your screen share real quick so we can go back to just the two of us?
Yeah, let's see. How do you?
Thanks, man. I think just on the top, like where it says view options, if you just go end share. And let me look at these questions while you do that. First one is, there you go. Where did you learn / train your voice? And how did you get guidance, mentoring? Like who kind of got you into this? It seems like a kind of crazy thing to end up doing. So I think that's where that question comes from.
Okay, yeah. You know, it started off probably when I was young. I just reading stories to my little brothers. I always liked to get really into it. I thought it was fun. I used different voices. And then probably just storytelling. We would storytell in the car and use the voices and everything. And then in college, I always loved giving speeches. Even in high school, I loved giving speeches for some reason. I just felt like I was good at it. So just, I don't know, I liked using my voice. I always, liked articulating different points. And so I guess it just kind of popped into my head one day. I was just wondering, like, what could I try? And maybe it was kind of luck, but I tried going for voiceovers, and it took some time. I was patient with it, but I made it work. It's really what it comes down to, is just doing what you love and making it work, being patient with it.
Yeah, the patience thing, I'm guessing, is huge, especially
Yeah,
if somebody watching this is trying to get into it, just to know that like it took you years to feel like you finally found your feet and got some success with this.
Yeah, it definitely took me years to do it, to get to that sustainable part.
Awesome. And what was your, speaking of that, like when you got there finally, Carly's asking, what is your favorite voiceover you've ever done, or your favorite client that you've ever worked with?
Well, favorite clients are those that are just super easy to work with, super understanding. They don't ask for many revisions, because sometimes if the client's not happy with your work, or they change the script, or they say, you know what, can you do it like this? I like clients that are just very clear from the start, and they say, hey, look, this is the exact voice we're looking for. They're just very easy to work with, and they're not too pushy. There's some clients that are very pushy with time and deadlines. Say, I need this voice in 4 hours. And,
you're like, I'm hiking a mountain. Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm hiking it. So those are my favorite clients. And favorite voiceover to do of all time? That's
tough, huh? Yeah.
That's a tough. There's so many. But I like the fun ones. There's some really unique ones, like there's one where I was doing an arcade machine. I told a couple people about this, but I'm always excited at what I'm gonna get. And one guy was like, hey, look, I build arcade machines over here in Florida, and I need the voice for one. And so I did a couple of them with him, but he was doing a basketball one. And so I would say, like, nice shot. Try again. Game over. Need to play.
Oh man, it's so fun to like imagine you doing your work too, just like in your apartment somewhere, just like yelling these like one lines over and over.
Yeah. We were actually on me and a couple of my fellow remotes were on a side trip. We were staying at an Airbnb, and I was doing some of my gigs, in a room, but one of them required me to kind of act out this war scene. So I was actually yelling out like, go, 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 right? And they could all hear me. Just kind of a funny little experience, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Sort of on this topic, actually, Zishan is asking, what is the strangest request you've ever had as far as doing voiceover work? Like maybe the strangest line or the strangest, request you've ever had.
The strangest one. There's definitely a couple strange ones from time to time. I think somebody wanted to. There's been a couple like erotic ones that people have wanted me to do. That's only like every now and then, but yeah, it's a little out of the norm. And maybe I don't know. Sometimes the cartoon ones, they ask me to do some cartoons. Like I did like a like little like children's apps. Like I would have to be like a crocodile or a bear or something like that. Or
Do
like
your crocodile voice.
Hey guys, it's me, the crocodile.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Yeah, so it's all fun though. It's all fun. I always love doing them, no matter what they are. It's just fun.
Awesome, man. One last question here we got. Did you ever think of changing up like the rules as far as like, how radio ads are supposed to sound, like kind of the example you gave us earlier in like your radio ad voice? You were like thought to try to do them totally differently, or like submitted work that seemed like kind of a little bit different, but you were hoping maybe they would like it, or does it kind of seem like movie guy, radio guy?
Yeah, no, totally. It's really, there's no one single way to skin a cat, I believe. So really, as long as you bring their vision to life in whatever way that is. Sometimes customers are looking for something very specific, but other times I've had them say, you know what, we were kind of thinking like we wanted a voice like this, but after listening to yours, like I actually like that better. So, just there's different styles and different ways you can do it. So sometimes, yeah, you just mix it up, you just have fun with it. ultimately, if the customer's happy, then that's really what counts.
Awesome, man. And I think we'll take one last question here from Dave. He says, any resources or advice on creating a demo reel, music and video to pair it with, etc.? Have you seen any amazing reels that we could all learn from, or something that, like maybe you could send out to the nation to be like, here's a great example of a demo reel that, you would hire this guy because of, or something like that?
Let's see, resources or advice on creating a demo reel.
Because yours must be like 7 years old now, right? Like your demo reel is like probably ancient, and you just have enough body of work to show. So
I've updated it. I updated it with, because you get better and better over the years, and your voice changes, and you're always improving. So I do have an updated one. I usually make a new one every year just to keep it up to date. But I would just say focus on what market you're trying to go after, or what you think you're really good at. So you mentioned like college guy earlier. If you're trying to go off after the college guy kind of market because that's what you're really good at, then put a voice with college guy. If you're trying to go after the radio ad, then do that. Put a voice for the radio people. Kind of put little examples, create fake scripts or real ones, and just record a voice for each of those markets. It's pretty simple, and then just put some music to it that sounds convincing. There's not really too much to it. Just listen to it and ask yourself, does it sound professional? Does it sound like a real ad?
Do you have a way to share your most recent demo reel, like for the nation, if these guys wanted to just see an example of a good one that gets to work?
Yeah, I can share that.
Maybe, if you can put that as a link just in like the Knowledge Drop Slack channel, that'd be awesome. And then Dave, you can find that there, and anybody else that's curious, we can share that around. That's where you got to start, man. Get the mic, get the demo reel, start getting on some of these websites and try to get some work if that's what you guys are interested in. But yeah, I think we're right at 5:30, man. So we'll close this down. But let me just say thanks again, Chris. This is awesome, man. Super interesting world. Thanks for making me laugh and cheering me up on a day that I'm not feeling so great either. So yeah, it was very, very cool. You're getting some nice little comments down here. I don't know if you're seeing, but people are stoked. I'm trying to get my crocodile voice going. But yeah, good work, man. And we'll kill the recording and sign off. We'll be back here 2 weeks from now, guys. So check the Knowledge Drop channel for the next one coming up. And you can always find this one in the archive if you want to share it around later on. Thanks again for being here.
Thanks, guys, in the comments.
Peace. Good work, Chris.